Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 72 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan Briggs, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing well. It's been a good week. I'm enjoying the sunshine lately. For anyone new here, we do these live streams every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we make sure we do these to answer your questions and use our product every week, so we're staying in tune with all of you. And we also always mention our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. We have some exciting things this week, but first, let me see who's here in the comments. Lots of good evenings. Good evening to all of you. Hey, Dave. Appreciate you guys spending your Sunday evening with us. And look, I think we have our first, this is actually one of our subjects, but I think you're our first LinkedIn comment ever, Mitchell. I appreciate that. Dan and I were very excited about that feature. I don't remember the day it went up, but very recently we released support for LinkedIn Live comments. In addition, and shortly before that, we released support for LinkedIn Live events. So you want to chat about LinkedIn Live comments a bit, Dan?
Yeah, just dive right in. So, well, first of all, yeah, very cool. We got our first one. Didn't take very long. So LinkedIn
logo looks good.
Yeah, so it should work. I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect, right? If you're streaming to LinkedIn, you basically get comments in your StreamYard studio the same way you already do for every other platform. And it should work for like profiles, pages, events. If you have any problems, obviously let us know. It's a very new thing for both us and for LinkedIn as well. So if you ever do run into issues, let us know. We'll look into it. But for the most part, the feedback's been very, very good. And yeah, I mean, it's nice to have, because for a while, obviously, we didn't have it. And so, maybe you're watching on LinkedIn, you leave a comment. Why aren't they addressing the comment?
Or the other hassle of like having to have another tab open and polling another stream and watching the comments come in. One important thing to note is the privacy that I've seen come up a few times and create some confusion. If someone's LinkedIn profile is set to, I think it might only be an option if you're on the paid version of LinkedIn. I don't remember exactly, but you can set on LinkedIn, you can set your profile to like private. So when you go to someone else's profile, it says private LinkedIn user viewed the profile. And if you're on that setting, when you comment on a stream, it'll just show LinkedIn user. Did I describe that accurately, Dan?
So yeah, I don't think you have to be on the paid, and there might be multiple versions of privacy, so that could be confusing. The one that I was testing with is a setting on LinkedIn called, I want to say like privacy outside of LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
And you turn that off, so like people can't view your profile outside of LinkedIn. So I'm not sure what that entirely includes, but basically StreamYard is one of those things outside. So, and again, like your privacy thing, it might just be a separate thing and they both affect it. But I know that setting, if somebody turns that off, they comment on your stream, in the StreamYard studio, we can't show you their name or picture. And it's not because we don't want to, it's because we can't find their name or picture, right? Like everything outside of LinkedIn doesn't have access, including StreamYard. So yeah, if you do see LinkedIn user with just a blank profile, that would be why. And we do have a note for that. So at the top, it will say, like, hey, some comments just won't show names and pictures. It shouldn't be very common, but yeah, I could see it confusing you if you're going like,
yeah, for the first time, time seeing it.
Yeah.
Shabaka says, is LinkedIn Live available now? So yeah, I guess I should clarify that it's available, but it's still application only, Shabaka. But I think because of the increased level of interest in LinkedIn Live, I think applications are going through applications more quickly. So make sure you apply. Just in Google, type in LinkedIn Live application. Should be the very first result. Nancy says, one of your techs helped me on Messenger. She was awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, our support team is great. They've been helping us out a ton with all the new users learning StreamYard for the first time. So we certainly appreciate them. And also on a side note, we're looking for more customer support folks. So if you're a fan of StreamYard and you're familiar with StreamYard, let us know. We've already had a bunch of you submit resumes. We appreciate that. I haven't had time to go through all of them yet, but we will be doing that soon. In particular, we're looking for someone in the like EU time zone, essentially, to cover that time. So if you're a night owl or you happen to be in the EU, feel free to apply. Who else do we have here? Dana says, shout out to the tech team. Yes. 3D printing, thanks for tuning in. Yes, Mike, I'm digging the LinkedIn comments. That logo looks good there. Michael, nice to see you here. Tony says, any plans to add a volume for each guest so we can increase the volume if they're quiet? Yeah, we have a few different plans for that. So for one, we just want to make it work better in general. There's some things we can do on our end to sort of detect when someone's quiet. So ideally, we want it to just sort of be smart enough to know when a guest's quiet and adjust the volume accordingly. But we also know that sometimes you just want to have full control. So at some point, we'll likely have the option to fully adjust it as well. Who else do we have here? Dal says, hi guys, any updates on accessibility features? Thank you. We haven't made any changes to the accessibility options that we have, but if there's something in particular that you need, Dal, let us know. Email is generally the best, the easiest way for us to keep that organized. So contact@streamyard.com would be great if you let us know. Don't think I could pronounce that one, but tuning in from Thailand, awesome. Oh yeah, there. Thank you for the example. All members can control their visibility settings. I did not know that.
Very cool. So that's a perfect example. That's what comments will look like when you turn off visibility outside of LinkedIn.
Great.
But at least you get the comment, right? Yeah.
So you can still address it, which is nice. El Michelle wishing to have live streaming option for Instagram. Yes, Instagram is a very popular request. The issue with that is their policy right now is they have a closed. It's closed, so they just want people streaming to Instagram from their phones right now. If that ever changes, we will certainly add it. Amaka, hi to you. Thanks for tuning in. Patrick's from Nigeria. It's cool seeing all the different countries. Hey, Eileen, haven't seen you for a bit. Thanks for tuning in from LinkedIn. Randall, nice to see you. I'm curious, Randall, have you tried doing your first LinkedIn event yet? I joined. I haven't actually created. Well, I've created one for testing things out, but I haven't created a real one yet. But I participated in LinkedIn's own event where they were demoing events, which was cool to see that. Stars in the House is great. Yeah, we're huge fans of Stars in the House. Seth is awesome. Looks like Nancy tried out comments. We do have some questions for you guys, so I'll get to some of those in just a second here. Let me see if I missed anyone. All right. Next subject we had was camera selection for mobile. So hopefully this will be a welcome change for quite a few people that were on certain devices. So before, I don't remember when it actually went up, but before recent, when did we actually make this change, Dan?
I think it was Thursday.
Before Thursday, there was just an option on mobile. If you're a mobile guest, there was just a button to switch camera. So it assumed that for all mobile devices, there's a front camera and a back camera. That is not always the case with mobile devices. So I know for certain people that was frustrating and they couldn't use the camera they wanted to use. So now on mobile, you'll actually have a drop down and be able to choose your individual camera. We're still testing things a bit with how if you have a interface to your phone with like a USB camera, that's still somewhat experimental, and we're testing various things with that. But if you try it, let us know.
Yeah, I picked up several adapters this week to run some tests.
Also, disable audio processing for mobile is now available. It didn't used to be in the settings. So if I know this should be a welcome change for musicians who often are joining from an iPhone or an iPad, or it seems to mostly be the Apple products, but I'm guessing some of them are on Android as well. But yes, if you have a good internet connection and you're on a mobile device, you'll want to, and you also have headphones, you'll want to use that option because it will increase the bit rate of your audio and also get rid of some of the effects that can lower the quality if you have control over your audio setup. So yeah, let us know how that goes for you.
And of course, just like desktop, don't turn it on unless you do have headphones.
Yes, make sure you know what you're doing. Professor Ness says, I like the audio only option a lot. Glad you enjoy it. Yes, I know people on YouTube seem to be big fans of that. I always see those popping up on my YouTube feed where I just see like 6 avatars chatting amongst each other, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a unique style, right?
Yeah. And I do get it. Sometimes, it's you don't want to get all dressed up and stuff for the show, but you can participate with audio, which is nice. Eddie, glad you're excited for the mobile updates. Tony, maybe you commented this right before I mentioned it, but yes, you can disable audio processing now. Christopher says, "Hey SY team, any plans to make overlays more visible under branding tools so you know which one is which?" Yes, that's come up for a very long time, and we're doing a bit of an overhaul on a few things in the studio, and that will happen at the same time as that. So yeah, that is in our plans, and we'll make it so it's easier for you to see which one's which. A LinkedIn user says, "I've been enjoying my first week of StreamYard. I've done 5 virtual parties with pre-recorded broadcasts and 2 interviews, all with StreamYard to Facebook." Awesome. Yeah, I've been, that was a use case we didn't really anticipate, at least not to the extent that we're seeing it used, is the, how many people, they don't actually go live with StreamYard. They'll just use it to do an interview with maybe one person or a few different people, and then use the download option to grab it from StreamYard and just make that part of some other produced video or show. Which is cool to see. It seems to be some of the bigger organizations like to do that, just because for them maybe the stakes are a bit higher, so they don't want to risk just going fully live. So it's cool to see them still be able to use the product. Tristan says you can upgrade to 5 on top plan. Yes, on the professional plan, you can multi-stream to 5 destinations, and at some point we'll likely add an option to. We're still deciding on the number, most likely up to something like 10 destinations. Just because anything over 10 seems a bit excessive to us. But if you have a number in mind that you'd go live to, let us know. Wesley says, "Super grateful for your team. With StreamYard, I've reached 114K in 3 weeks." That's awesome. Congrats, Wesley. You should share the link to your show. I'd be curious to check it out. What do you stream about? I'm guessing that's I'm curious, is that 114K subscribers or views? Let us know. Yeah,
and which platform as well. That's very cool. That's not a small number for viewership.
Yeah, 114K.
What the metric is.
Yeah. Tristan, yes, I'm a huge fan of the comments. David says, "Could you allow up to 3 for the $20 per month plan?" That's only billed annually. So it's $25 a month for the basic plan, and it's 2 live streaming destinations, but your feedback is noted. Rapper J says, "Any new features for the free version?" So everything I announced is actually on the free version. I often forget to mention that, but yeah, LinkedIn comments you can use those on the free version. They'll come into the studio. The mobile changes are on the free version. Essentially anything core to the product is going to be your definition. My definition of core and your definition of core might vary, but what we feel is core will be in the free version. We want to make sure that the free version is always a fully usable product that people are actually going to use, and it's not just sort of like a trial that shuts off after 5 minutes. We want it to be an actual product.
I'm quite enjoying how, and I'm wondering if other people have noticed this. Like every now and then with your lighting, it just causes your camera to change a little bit. So yeah, there it goes. The green screen will switch. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
I'm on a new setup today. I need to fix my lights.
I think it's cool. Honestly, it's a good effect.
Boxer Chocolate says, "I emailed you to make a sister app called ChatYard to compete with Skype, Hangouts, and Zoom. Have you ever thought of this idea before I wrote that email?" Yeah, it's meeting apps have definitely crossed our mind. To be honest with you, we're much more passionate about, we sort of feel that those are all great applications. Skype's awesome, Hangouts awesome, Zoom's awesome, and there's countless other meeting applications. So when Dan and I first started StreamYard, we were aware of all the meeting applications out there, and we thought that need was being served pretty well. And it was live streaming that we were passionate about. We didn't think there was something out there that was easy enough for people. So that's what we're interested in, and that's likely the path that we're going to continue down. But I appreciate the suggestion.
I like the name.
Yeah, ChatYard. Yeah,
that's good.
Amani says you have to be approved for LinkedIn Live first. Yes, to stream on LinkedIn. To comment, you can obviously comment without being approved, but to actually go live, yes. Herb says, loving StreamYard, use it for my daily podcast. Will you guys add a 2-camera option within the stream? I love to have that for when I have 2 podcasters in studio with another guest remotely. Yeah, that one comes up a lot, Herb, and we will most likely add an option for that. One thing, so yes, we'll most likely add that, but for now, one thing you might want to look into that I've heard people use with great success is, hopefully I get the name right, but the ATEM Mini Studio is this really cool device that I've been seeing in the community group. Actually, quite a few people post it, which is basically a hardware device where you can connect, and you can connect any camera. That's the main reason why people like to use it, is they can connect like 2 DSLRs or various other types of cameras, and they all interface to this ATEM. Hopefully, I'm getting the name right. ATEM device, and then it actually has buttons to switch between the cameras on it, and the effect is really impressive. Like the shows I've seen on it were great. So until we add the multiple webcams, you might want to check that one out.
I also have a follow-up question for that. So this could be for the original. I didn't catch his name, but the one who asked the question. If you can maybe bring it back up if you got it. So follow-up question for you, and then anyone else who's So for her, I'm curious so say you had multiple cameras in StreamYard at the bottom, right? Like one for each person that's in the podcast studio. Would you want to have a separate audio, like a separate mic for each, or is it like you're gonna have one audio track coming in? In other words, like if you can just add a camera source, is that good, or do you need camera and audio source?
Personally, I think it would, for me, it would just be the camera source. But yeah, let us know.
That's what I always figured, but this use case almost sounds like it's 2 separate cameras. I guess you could also open up a separate tab and kind of join on 2. I know that's not ideal, and you're gonna have to figure out how to avoid the feedback. But maybe if you can like mute StreamYard or mute your computer in general, that would work. Just 2 tabs. Few different options.
Masterworks says lots of people in Japan starting to talk about StreamYard now. Yeah, we've definitely noticed that, and we're excited to see that. I've seen some community groups pop up for specifically StreamYard users in Japan, which is cool to see. And that's one thing we're working on now, is how we can best support people in all these different countries. It's definitely a challenge, but it's an exciting one. Annette says from Cleveland, why are you saying their names? I thought you couldn't. I'm not sure I fully understand the question, Annette, but if you could give me some clarification, I'd appreciate it.
Maybe that was about the LinkedIn comments.
Oh yeah, maybe about the LinkedIn comments. Yeah, in case you missed it, Annette, you can show the names for LinkedIn comments. It's just depends on the visibility settings for the particular profile. Dave says, incredible service. Thanks, that's very kind of you. Produced 3 live streams last week, including one with New York Times bestselling author and podcaster Lewis Howes. I'm familiar with Lewis Howes. And with chief economist Dr. Sherry Cooper. Easy to use for all involved. Thank you. Will there be an increase in simultaneous streams from 5 to, say, 10? I don't know what the exact number will be, but it's becoming a hot request. So at some point, we'll likely add an option for people that want to go to the extra destinations. We'll add another option for them. Personally, I think I could see going to like 7 or 8 seems reasonable. But I think at a certain point, it's just personally, I think it becomes like very hard to manage, and it's just like there's only so many social platforms, but different people want to do different things. So I appreciate that. Michael says, awesome being on the StreamYard Spotlight. Thank you. Yes, I actually have a banner for that. Dana is hosting a, let me find it here. Oh, maybe I forgot the banner for it. But anyway, Dana is hosting a weekly show on the StreamYard Facebook page and in the StreamYard group called the StreamYard Community Spotlight Show every Thursday. And it'll be this Thursday as well at 5 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing how different people are using StreamYard, definitely tune into that. And if you're interested in, if you're a StreamYard user and you're interested in being on the show, there's a, if Dana, you're watching the show, maybe you can share the link in the comments. But in the community group on Facebook, if you just type StreamYard Community on Facebook, we have a link to that form to apply to be on the show. And before I forget, I had a few questions for you guys. One was video hosting. For various reasons I won't get into, I'm just curious how many of you, well, I'll get into it a bit, I guess. We're interested in what integrations we can make to better support different people's workflows for how they're using StreamYard in combination with other things that they're doing. So we're curious how many of you use a video hosting platform and what platforms you use. So if you, and for that term, maybe some people don't even know what that means. So in case you don't know what that means, like do any of you put videos on your own website that you share out to your own community? So outside of the social platform, so not, well, I guess maybe you could say that, I host my videos on YouTube and embed it on my site. That's valid. I'm curious if you do that as well. But yeah, we're curious if you're hosting your own videos, and also if you're hosting your own live streams. So if instead of going to the social platforms, you're going to your own, I guess it wouldn't even necessarily have to be a website, but you're most likely a website where you sort of have a closed off or private viewing, sort of like maybe like a webinar or something like that, because it would be interesting to potentially make some integrations with maybe something like Wowza or Decast, depending on what the popular things that you guys are using. I'm noticing the colors going crazy. So yeah, let us know if you're hosting videos and how you're hosting them. And while you guys are answering that, we had one final question regarding if you guys use any CRMs. I know a lot of people probably don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't even know if I know it. Customer relationship management, I think is what it stands for. Salesforce, I think, was the pioneer of that. Is that right, Dan? Salesforce was
like the online pioneer.
The online pioneer. Yeah.
Siebel Systems was before them.
Right.
But that was those are all for big companies too, right? There's a lot of stuff for much, much smaller entrepreneurial type startup-y personal brand type stuff that's very different than something like Salesforce.
Yeah, like
CRMs.
Yeah, like stuff more focused on creators, like ConvertKit is a popular one for creators. But yeah, we're curious if you guys use any of those softwares, and not even necessarily a CRM. Do you just have like an email list? And is there anything StreamYard could do to interface with those that would be useful to you? Maybe doing something like an automated email with some information about your stream that you're doing every week, or there's a few different things we're thinking about. So if you could just let us know if you're using those and which ones you are using, it would be helpful for us to make those decisions.
Yeah, and just even the simplified version, which is like, do you have an email list?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
That's actually the most fundamental, interesting question to us: is are you actually collecting emails, and do you have an email list, whether it's a CRM or a spreadsheet or a note or a physical notepad, whatever it is. And then one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is it's not out yet, but I know in our community group there's obviously been a huge influx of new people, and it's sort of the same. It's our fault, not their fault, but there's the same sort of questions that come up all the time just because there's so many new people, and we want to make sure that group is always useful and really has a community feel, and it's not just like a FAQ that repeats itself all the time. So we're doing some work to make a really we'll iterate on it over time, but we're going to have a help center so that people that have those common questions can type it in, and it'll link them directly to various articles. So we're hoping that will help out with that situation, and that new users will have a better experience. I've been neglecting the comment section here, so let's check what people are saying. El Michelle says we collect emails. Good to know. Russ says email is important. I would agree. Ross switched to Active Campaign from MailChimp. Yeah, there's a ton of them out there with it's amazing like how many different niches there are for it. I would not have, if someone would have told me 5 years ago about CRMs, I would not guess that there's one for like literally every niche. So I know different people like different things. Active Campaign is definitely a good one. Drip is another popular one. ConvertKit's popular.
MailChimp's probably the biggest one, but probably also the most general.
Looks like tons of people that use email lists. I'm not seeing too many people that saying that they don't use one, so that's definitely interesting. Bonnie uses YouTube for video hosting. Good to know. Richards is using Constant Contact. Yes, that's I've definitely heard that one before. Tristan says we have emails and messenger lists. Yeah, I'm guessing by messenger list, Tristan, you mean like a Facebook chatbot, maybe, or maybe I know that those are becoming popular in general. Just not even through Facebook, just messenger bots in general that have like text, like SMS text support. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Philip says, can banners have hyperlinks? That'd be really cool if they could. If we could support that, we definitely would. But because it's going to the social platforms that we don't control, it's essentially just video data, right? You can't really put a hyperlink in video data, so that's not that's not possible. But you could, of course, put it in the comments or the description. Wesley says, any chance to boost schedule broadcasts? So you can actually do that, Wesley. Well, not technically with the boost button, but that comes up a lot, just because if you hit the boost button, it won't work. But if you use Facebook Ads Manager, which I recommend you use anyway, it will perform much better for you than the boost button because you have so much control. Like Facebook has a phenomenal ads platform where you have all kinds of advanced targeting and you can make like lookalike audiences and all this awesome stuff. So it's much better to use that anyway. And if you go into the Ads Manager and create a new ad, there's an option to enter a post ID. So when you schedule the post on Facebook, you can click into it, and the URL box at the top will have that post ID, and then you can use that post ID to make an ad from it, which is it works pretty well. It's cool. You can essentially I know it's really useful for people that say you're a realtor and you only want your stream to be shown in like Cincinnati or something. You don't want it anywhere else because you're only selling houses in Cincinnati. You can do that, which is pretty powerful. Mark's using Salesforce and Marketo. Good to know.
So yeah, quite a few using Salesforce.
Yeah, Salesforce. I hear great things about Salesforce. I know, at least when I looked at it, I think the initial price point is pretty high. You have to be you have to be a pretty large organization for it to make sense. But it was a long time ago that I looked at it. Maybe they have different options.
Right.
HubSpot is actually one as well. HubSpot has an insane number of features.
Yeah, no kidding.
Tristan, I appreciate that. So Tristan linked the interview form for anyone that wants to be on Dana's show. Let me scroll up to see if we got anything for the video hosting question. Thanks for the answers, guys. This is super useful. It's cool to see how many of you use an email list. It seems like essentially every single one of you. I don't know how biased the results are by the audience watching this is usually quite technical. April uses Weber. Good to know.
It's amazing how many there are.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Every answer is almost a different one.
Okay, here we go. Here's the video hosting one. Angel uses Kajabi, YouTube, and Vimeo. Good to know. All right, I'll go back. There's a ton of comments. Thank you guys for participating in the comments. I'll go back through these and see all the different video hosting websites you're using. But this was episode number 72 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. And we will see you next week at the same time. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Right on. Thanks for all the info, guys. Always useful to chat with you.